Something just snapped in American politics, guys, and no one in mainstream media wants to even talk about it. New polling numbers have just hit the wire, and it's nothing short of a political carnage for the Democrats. Now, guys, it is Wednesday, April the 30th, 2025, and the game is changing. Their support isn't just slipping in the Democratic Party, it's collapsing at record speed. In fact, we're talking about the lowest favorability ratings that we've seen in over a decade, and it's happening across the board. Are you guys seeing this with independents, minorities, even within their own base? Meanwhile, President Trump is surging. After years of political warfare, impeachment hoaxes, nonstop lawsuits, and media slander, President Trump has emerged not just standing, but rising higher than ever before. And the economy, wow. This economy is bouncing back with a vengeance. I mean, the S&P 500 just posted one of its strongest weeks in recent memory, and President Trump's approval numbers, well, let's just say that they're climbing in lockstep with the market recovery. And this is not a coincidence. That, my friends, this is a reckoning. This wasn't supposed to happen, actually. Not at least according to their rhetoric. The media said Trump was finished. The media said Trump is done. The media said that Trump quits. Well, the experts said that tariffs would crash the market. The experts were saying that the tariffs would crash the economy. And Democrat insiders, they swore left and right that they had the next generation locked down. Well, they were dead wrong on every single account. And what you're seeing right now, folks, is a massive political realignment. And in today's video, we're going to break it all down for you guys. Every shocking twist, every explosive number, and every move the mainstream media refuses to acknowledge. All I ask from you guys is please take a second and hit the like button for the video. That's all I care about. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you like content like this. Now, you're going to see how Chuck Schumer's grip on New York is evaporating as AOC gains ground. You're also going to see Adam Schiff, yes, Adam Schiff, the same guy who pushed the Russia hoax, publicly admitting his own party is crumbling. It's crazy what they're doing over there now. And you're going to hear how young voters, especially young men, are flipping toward Trump in numbers that would have been considered unthinkable just 2 years ago. These aren't isolated incidents. This is a straight up revolt. And if you thought that this was just about voters, well, folks, think again. Because even the elite pollsters in Washington, D.C., the same ones who usually twist the numbers to fit the narrative, they're now openly admitting that they can't explain what's happening. It's wild. Frank Luntz, of all people, he just got steamrolled. Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. Frank Luntz, he got steamrolled by a panel of Trump voters who they just wouldn't budge, not even an inch. Not on tariffs, not on the economy, not on anything. And it gets even deeper. So we're going to show you how Trump's bold economic vision is reshaping American industry, how Trump's base is stronger than ever before, and how the removal of Barack Obama-era figures like Susan Rice is triggering a massive panic inside the Pentagon that screams, hey, the deep state knows its time is running out. This is a new era, folks. And the left is losing control of the narrative. They're losing control of the numbers, the nation. So, yeah, buckle up because the polling collapse is just the first domino and a chain reaction that could flip everything upside down in 2025. And as you're about to see, the best is yet to come. It's happening, guys. The total collapse that the media swore would never happen is here. And it's even worse than they feared. New bombshell polling just dropped. And for the Democrats, it's catastrophic. I mean, their support has been shattered into pieces, crashing to record lows. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is surging to heights that nobody even thought was possible after the markets came roaring back. And that's just the beginning. In fact, in today's video, we're actually going to see how Chuck Schumer's own voters are abandoning him in droves, and how Adam Schiff, yes, shifty old Adam Schiff, is now admitting that his own Democratic Party sucks, how President Trump just pulled off a historic move with tariffs while the S&P soars back to life, and how even the youth vote, once the Democrats' secret weapon, is now flipping in Trump's favor like we've never seen before. It's crazy. And if you guys think that's wild, wait until you hear what just happened to Susan Rice, Obama's old national security advisor. And how it's setting off alarm bells inside the Pentagon. Guys, this is the video they do not want you to see. I'm just telling you right now. So stay locked in, because by the end of this video, you're going to see why 2025 is shaping up to be an absolute nightmare for Democrats and a landslide for President Trump. If you haven't already, please take a second, tap the like button for me, and also subscribe to the channel for more daily news updates like this one. All right, so let's get right into this, guys. And trust me, you're going to want to stay until the end, because it only gets crazier from here. So I'm just going to go ahead and warn you right now. All right. So first up, President Trump's polling surge, new numbers just dropped, and is a political earthquake. So while the media keeps peddling doom and gloom, President Trump, his approval rating is soaring. I mean, sharp, undeniable gains across the board. You can't even argue the data, right? Meanwhile, over in Democrat land, it's a total catastrophe. It's a total meltdown. Listen to this. Only 39% of Democrats, their own voters, still trust that their party leadership is trustworthy. This is down from 80% just a year ago. That's not a warning light. That's not like a check engine light. It's like the car is smoking and there's no more power coming from it, and you just have to pull over at this point, right? This is a 5-alarm fire. The collapse is real. And even the liberal protesters, they can't even spin it. It's that bad. But how did President Trump pull off this comeback when their entire establishment lined up against him? Well, that brings me to the second major shocker. Liberation Day tariffs and the economic boom. You guys remember that, right? What was it like 3 weeks ago, President Trump, was it about 3 weeks ago? Was it three? Let me know, guys. Was it 3 or 4 weeks ago that President Trump declared Liberation Day, slapping that 10% base tariff on almost every foreign country, plus 25% tariffs on autos, steel, and aluminum? And real quick, guys, just comment a yes or no. Do you support President Trump's tariffs? I just want to know where you guys stand on that. So the media predicted all sorts of chaos, collapse, economic doom. Instead, the S&P 500 just ripped 4% higher last week. Tesla stocks soared 15%, even after the left spent millions of dollars trying to blow up Tesla Cybertrucks, Model 3s, and whatnot, just trying to tank it. And President Trump, well, he's standing tall, declaring that the transition is over and America is on a new path to real prosperity. He's making it crystal clear, guys. We set the price. They come to us, not the other way around. And now, after decades of selling out to China and foreign countries, the markets are starting to adjust fast. And believe me, guys, you haven't even seen the most brutal part yet. Wait until you hear how Democratic leaders are getting torched by their own voters, and how shifty Adam Schiff, yeah, that Adam Schiff, right, just basically admitted his entire Democratic Party is falling apart. So stick with me, guys, because we're diving into that next. So imagine this, imagine this. It's a year from now. You're saving hundreds a year on Medicare. Your doctor's covered. Your benefits are better, all because you made one itty bitty phone call to Chapter. Julie in Kansas did, and she's now saving $400 a year. Jamie in Texas, $600 more in her Social Security check. Who wouldn't be happy about that, right? Guys, Chapter exists because their founders, they watched their own parents get horrible advice, and they swore up and down that it would never happen to anybody else. So, and their help on top of this, it's completely free. Like, it's a no-brainer. Give my friends over at Chapter a call if you're 65, about to turn 65, or if your parents are 65, give them a call. Most people are being taken advantage of by Medicare right now, and you can save them money. Give them a call at 909-563-8279, or you can visit them online at askchapter.org/Ron and make that future your reality. So for 3 straight weeks, guys, the corporate press and the DC swamp, they've been on this all-out rampage, day after day, night after night, screaming about how President Trump's tariffs are going to crash the economy. They're going to destroy the markets, and they're going to send us spiraling into a recession or a depression or a complete disaster. But here's what they didn't tell you. They never once mentioned why the tariffs were necessary. They do this all the time. They get everybody all worked up with like 10% of the details, right? They never once explained how Trump's strategy is reshoring American manufacturing, or how it's boosting government revenues without raising your taxes. They didn't mention any of that, not once. The entire media machine was way too busy rooting for America to fail. I mean, you name your favorite news station. I don't know who you watch. CNN, ABC, NBC. Do you guys watch MSNBC, or as Trump calls them, MSDNC? Because they all thought that, that would take Trump down. But guess what, guys? The markets didn't collapse. The economy didn't crash, and Trump's approval numbers, they shot up instead. That's right, guys. And if you think that the media's betrayal was bad, just wait till you see what's happening inside the Democratic Party itself. They're talking about a full-blown revolt right now. And Chuck Schumer, he might not survive it. Let me know. Do you think it's time for Chuck Schumer to just go ahead and step down? If you think it's time for Chuck Schumer to step down, let me know, guys. Which brings us to the next bombshell, the Democratic Party revolt and collapse. Now, folks, it's not just a rough patch for Democrats. This is an all-out mutiny, an open rebellion from their own base. Look at Chuck Schumer, the Senate Democrat leader himself. If you go back to December 2024, 73% of New York Democrats viewed him favorably. Today, it's bad. Only 52%. Guys, this is his home state. A 21% nosedive in just a few months. That is disaster territory. That's like a plane crash if I were to make that analogy. And here's the kicker. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, yes, AOC, loudmouth, big mouth AOC, now has a higher favorability rating among New York Democrats than Chuck Schumer does. Let that sink in. And you better believe that Chuck Schumer and AOC are at each other's throats right now, right? It's like the snake is eating itself. Right? The future of the Democratic Party is slipping into the hands of radical socialists while their old guard crashes and burns. Guys, the DNC right now, it's not just in damage control. They're in full-blown crisis mode. And believe it or not, the collapse gets even worse. Guys, we need to talk about how Adam Schiff, the king of fake investigations, is now openly admitting his own party is a disaster zone. And how a simple conversation at a Target store, anybody shop at Target, or do you just shop at Walmart? Comment down below. Do you prefer to shop at Target or Walmart? I have a preference. I want to see where you guys stand. How a simple conversation at Target exposed the rot inside Democratic-run cities like San Francisco. Guys, stick with me, guys, because you do not want to miss what we talk about next. Now, let's talk about shifty old Adam Schiff finally telling the ugly truth, right? Yes, shifty Schiff himself, right? This is the guy who spent years lying about Trump on every network that would give him a microphone. He's now admitting out loud that the Democratic Party is an absolute failure and a disaster. Freaking Adam Schiff guy. The guy's a freaking clown. He went on Bill Maher's show thinking he was going to score some political points over there. And instead, he accidentally exposed just how bad things have gotten. So Adam Schiff, he told the story of how he left his luggage in his car in San Francisco, only to come back to his car and realize it was stolen. And so where did he end up? Dude ends up in a freaking Target store at 10 p.m. at night buying toiletries because all his stuff got stolen in Democratic-led San Francisco. And you know what happened next? The Target cashier, just a regular, hardworking, hourly person, basically told Adam Schiff right to his face, yeah, Democrats are the problem. Imagine that. When your own voters in your own cities are calling you out for the crime, for the chaos, for the insanity that you've created, you know you're in some deep stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna just try to keep it PG here. Even Adam Schiff had to admit it. The policies are not working. The crime is out of control. And the American people, even lifelong Democrats, are fed up with this nonsense, right? And it's not just the old school voters that are revolting. The next generation, the one that Democrats thought that they owned forever, even they are turning against them too, which kind of brings us to the next major shockwave, guys. The youth vote shift toward Trump. Yes, folks, this is stunning. For decades, Democrats have counted on young voters to bail them out. It was supposed to be automatic, like clockwork, right? But now Trump's approval rating among 18 to 29-year-old men is exploding. Not just breaking even, guys. Trump is plus 16 with young men, 57% approval. We've never seen anything like this. I'm just telling you. This is earthquake level political change and shift. Did you guys see what I did there? Shift, political shift, talking about Adam Schiff. All right. I try to make it funny. I tried. Don't kill me. All right. But absolutely devastating for Democrats, guys. And a huge signal that the American spirit of freedom, of independence, and common sense, it's alive and well in the next generation. Thank God. We need a shot of common sense, right? The old narratives, the orange man bad, it doesn't work anymore, guys. These young voters are living through the crime, the inflation, the lack of good jobs, the open borders, the chaos, and they're saying, "Look, dude, enough. Stop with the freaking lies." People are not even watching the news anymore. A lot of people. Real quick, yes or no? Do you guys watch the news anymore? Does anybody watch the news anymore? Mainstream media. But wait, guys, if you think that it's just the voters who are sticking with Trump, you're gonna want to see what happens next, because even Washington's most elite pollsters, the ones that hate Trump, the ones who they just literally do not like Trump, even those people they're now forced to admit that his base isn't budging, not 1 inch. So stick with me, guys, because we're going to break that down. All right, so let's get into the massive piece of the puzzle. Frank Luntz shocking panel on tariffs. Okay, now if you don't know Frank Luntz, he's one of Washington D.C.'s elite go-to pollsters. Not a Trump fan at all, not even close. I guarantee if he ever had it could be pouring raining in New York City and like 22 degrees outside. If a cab stopped to pick him up and Trump was in the backseat and he had to share a cab with Trump, he would rather just stand out in the rain in 22-degree weather. He's not a Trump fan. This guy has spent years trying to sway voters against Trump. So what happened next absolutely stunned him. Frank Luntz hosted a panel of Trump voters, and he tried everything that he could to get them to complain about the tariffs, to complain about the economy, even the recent market dip, right? But it completely backfired. Not a single voter abandoned Trump, not even one of them. Matter of fact, the opposite happened. The voters Luntz interviewed said that they supported Trump's tariffs. They supported Trump's tariffs, guys. They understood the short-term pain, and they said that we're ready to ride it out because they believe in bringing jobs back to America. And so when Luntz asked about the temporary hit to their 401ks, they shrugged it off. Most were saying they didn't lose money. And even those who did, they said it was nothing compared to what they lost under Biden's economy in 2022. Folks, think about this. Number one, first of all, if you don't sell, you didn't lose money. Oh, my 401k went down. This basic market cycles. Everyone knows that, right? Anyway, even after the nonstop media fear mongering, Even after the stock market correction, President Trump's base is stronger than ever before. And it's not just about loyalty. It's because people are starting to understand the bigger mission behind all of this, which brings us to the next huge shift. The economic arguments supporting President Trump's tariffs are undeniable. Now, it's not just about slapping tariffs just for the sake of slapping tariffs on random stuff, right? It's about strategic independence. Every single day, Americans walk in the stores. I need to look through the comments and see. I don't know if you guys are shopping at Walmart or Target. People are walking in the stores, Walmart, Target, you name it, and they realize almost everything that they buy is made in China or Malaysia or somewhere else overseas, not here. Have you guys ever done that? Have you just looked at the stuff you're buying and observed where the stuff is made from? And it's never USA. I remember when I was a kid, I would say a good 50% of the stuff I would pick up was made in USA, made in USA, made in USA. I just expected that because that's where we live. That's where we're from, right? But now it's nothing's made in the USA. Shirts, shoes, socks, Indonesia, Taiwan, China, India, Mexico, anywhere but here. Even American brands, Nike. I mean, they're now they're just labels slapped on products made halfway around the world, right? This is a huge problem, not just for jobs, but also for national security. President Trump's strategy is very simple, but it's very powerful. If we want a strong, secure America, we have to make things here again. We have to reshore critical industries. We have to cut our dependence on countries that don't even have our best interests at heart. China threatened to not provide us with our rare earth minerals that we need for all sorts of things related to our military. That's a big problem. So we have to cut our dependence on these countries that they don't even like us. So yeah, this means prices might go up a little bit in the short term, but guess what? It also means better jobs. It means real security, and it means economic freedom in the long term. And guess what? Most voters are 100% on board with Trump's plan. They're willing to pay a little bit more if it means America comes first again. And the proof that Trump's winning on this front, well, wait until you hear what just happened inside the Pentagon. Because President Trump's team just fired a major Barack Obama holdover who had been secretly working against him. And trust me, guys, the reaction has been absolutely insane. Don't go anywhere because we're going to dive into that piece next. But let's talk about one of the most explosive moves yet inside the Trump administration. Susan Rice, she just got fired from the Defense Policy Board. Now, you heard that right, guys. Susan Rice, Barack Obama's former national security advisor, was still sitting on a very powerful Defense Department board 100 days into Trump's new administration. And to make matters even worse, she wasn't just some ceremonial figure. She had access. She was over there influencing policy. She was interacting, engaging with Pentagon staff. And all this time, on top of that, she was collecting a big, huge taxpayer-funded paycheck, even though she was openly hostile to Trump's America First vision. Now, first of all, she's clearly not all that smart, because if she wasn't just so openly hostile about Trump, she might have been able to continue to fly under the radar undetected. But apparently her big mouth got her in trouble. So a lot of people are asking, well, how did this even happen? Well, because of a lot of deep state operatives from the Barack Obama and Joe Biden years were never properly purged. But thanks to Trump's team finally scrubbing the ranks, Susan Rice just got the boot. And when I say she is furious, she's on full meltdown mode, guys. She's not just angry. She is accusing Trump's administration of discrimination. Which brings us to the next jaw-dropping moment. I know, It's like one big ass soap opera. It just goes on and on and on. So Susan Rice's reaction and playing the race card and the gender card, right? Like instead of taking responsibility, instead of admitting she had no business being anywhere near national defense decisions after the disaster of the Barack Obama years, Susan Rice, she pulled every identity politics card in the book. She accused Trump's team of targeting her because she's a woman, targeting her for being a person of color, targeting her for not a Christian, not a size gender, not a part of the MAGA America tribe. Seriously? Her argument boiled down to, if you're not a white Christian cisgender male, you're automatically disqualified. Total deflection. Typical Democratic argument strategy. I mean, no mention of the leaks, no mention of the sabotage, no mention of the real reasons why she was removed. Just a sad, desperate attempt to turn a legitimate security move into a discrimination narrative. Right? And here's the truth, guys. It didn't even work. The American people are done being manipulated by these tired, divisive tactics. And we see through it. And we know that this was about protecting America's future, not politics. But here's the bigger question. If Susan Rice was still embedded inside the Pentagon after all this time, you got to ask yourself, how many more Barack Obama and Joe Biden loyalists are still deep inside our government, right? Stick around, because we're going to expose the massive deep state crisis that Trump is facing right now. And more importantly, why the next moves could shape the future of the entire country, guys. So let's look at this a little bit from a different angle. There's a bigger threat than Susan Rice's firing being exposed. The deep state holdover crisis. If Susan Rice was still lurking inside the Pentagon after Trump returned back to power, how many other Biden, Obama loyalists are still sitting in powerful positions right now? That's the real question. Because these aren't just low-level bureaucrats. We're talking about some senior advisors, defense insiders, policy shapers, people who can leak information, high-level information, sabotage policies, undermine decisions. They can even stall critical reforms behind the scenes. These are unelected, unaccountable forces that they think should run the country. Not the president you voted for, not the America First agenda that you chose. And the scary part here, most Americans don't even realize how deep this rot goes. Folks, Susan Rice being exposed, she's just the tip of the iceberg, just the tip. So if President Trump is serious, and all signs shows he is, there needs to be a full, total, ruthless purge of these deep state bad actors. Yes or no? Let me know, guys. We need to drain the swamp for real this time, and not just in name, not just in campaign slogans, but with real action inside every department, every agency, every corner of the government. The American people deserve a government that actually works for them, not against them. And if that means cleaning the house, if that means top to bottom cleaning house, then so be it. Because if we don't fix it now, they're going to continue to sabotage everything we fought so hard to win back, and then they'll blame Trump for anything negative. So where does all this lead? Well, what's next for the economy, the elections, and the battle to finally take America back? Guys, that's what's next. So all I ask of you is that you make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're following, because the next video I drop, we're going to go even deeper into the fight ahead, okay? This collapse is just beginning, and the best is yet to come. So appreciate the support, you guys. Thank you for sharing this video with someone who needs to hear it. Give our friends over at Chapter a call if you're looking to save some serious money over with your Medicare expenses. And I'll see you guys on the next one.